One of the best days I've ever had on the water was driving this boat's predecessor. Now, this boat is the Cormate T28. The previous one was called the T27, but the molds of that finally ran out, so they completely redesigned the boat from the ground up, but using all the same principles and very similar styling. It's a really attractive boat. You can see lovely lines all the way down there. It's sort of slightly retro, kind of modern retro take, but most of all, it's got the most fantastic hull. It's a really deep V planing design. It's 25 degrees at the transom, which is really very, very deep, but that's what gives it such its lovely soft ride and absolutely terrific handling. So there are no steps or anything. It is just a traditional deep V planing hull design that works absolutely brilliantly. Now, this particular boat, all up, including that, is £170,000. It is a Scandinavian design, but built in Poland to a very high standard, and we're going to have a look around it and show you what makes it quite so special. So just going to walk around so you get a feel for how the whole thing looks. It's a really attractive, kind of modern, slightly retro styling, but very sporty, very nicely done. So let's start at the back here. We can see it is a single stern drive unit. This is a Mercruiser. It's a big 6.2 litre single V8 petrol engine, but it gives it, this particular one, a top speed of about 56 knots, but we'll take a closer look at that in a minute. You can see the trim tabs down here, the Lenco trim plates either side of that stern drive. They're quite close to it because it's such a deep V, they need to be nice and deeply immersed. But let's go on board and take a closer look. You can see under here there is a bathing ladder. I'll just show you that while we're here, and then a nice grab rail around the transom. Now, being a 28 footer, there's an extra foot over the old T27, so you get a longer bathing platform here, and it's a little bit beamier too, which just provides a bit more seating on board. So we'll take a look. There's this rather lovely aft bench here. You can see it faces both ways, so you can sit here facing aft, particularly if you've got some water sports going on. You can see there is a pole that goes in there, so you can tow water skiers or inflatables. A couple of cup holders there. Even got a light built into the transom there. And then it also faces into the boat, so again, this is considerably beamier, so much wider seat than used to be. Used to be able to just have kind of two seats facing either way. Now you've got a full three across there, and then two sitting on this aft-facing bench here. Now that backrest, you can see that lifts up and swings across. See if I can do it one-handed, but you can see that folds over, so you've got a really good sunbed there. So it converts into a big sunbed with just a little bit of angle on that to provide a bit of head support. Now under here, you can see there is access to the engine hatch. Just to see if I can lift that up for you. Now there we go. There is that 6.2 litre petrol V8, provides 350 horsepower, and it's so light and efficient, that hull, that's what gives it this amazing top speed of 56 knots. I tried the old T27 with a little V6, and even that was tremendous fun. But you can go up to 600 horsepower in this boat. That'll give you a top speed of around about 70, 75, 76 knots. Frankly, I really don't know why anybody would want to do that kind of speed. It's quite fast enough at 50 or so knots. But it's also brilliantly good fun. It just handles so well. Now, let's pop that down. Now you can see, just as we came in here, there is a pull-out shower, so ideally situated next to the bathing platform, so you can hose off after a swim. You can see these little clever integrated fender holders just under the, just sort of set into the cockpit coamings there. Lovely teak cappings all the way along. Little recess for the water tank in there. Got the cleats along there. Step up, there's another little locker under there. You can see, again, just useful little storage. And then full walk around deck. So these kind of mini bulwarks along here just make it nice and safe to move around. You've got handholds on the inside. You can see the windscreen frame, but there's also an extra rail there to provide a bit more support. And that walk moves up to the, brings you up to the sun deck. We've got a lovely big sun pad here, another fender strapped in there, so all the fenders just slot into the coamings there. It's very lovely sporty windscreen here. You can see there's a little bit of a lip on that to make sure the wind goes up and over the driving helm seat. There is a solar panel built into this, so it just keeps the batteries topped up, and then takes you up to the foredeck where there's an anchor locker in here. Lift up, you can see a through hull anchor, again on electric windlass, so it's all controllable from the helm position. But very neatly done. Little step through bow for the guardrails, and you can see there is a single built-in wiper in here, and in fact the light, the navigation light, so you can have that up in front of you there. Again, more helm lockers in here. You can see there are little speakers built into the coamings too. Full walk around deck, so very easy to get to the foredeck to hang your fenders off. Lift that back up. So there is a slotting table that goes in here, so you can have it's a little teak table. I'll show you without stoves when it's not in use, but you've got a nice dining area here, so you have those two seats there, table between you, more bespoke storage in here, and the handle for the manual bilge pump. Speakers built in here, more useful little storage space there, and then these really purposeful helm seats. Now this is a real driver's boat, so you can see they're bolstered up, but they also drop down like that, so really secure. You get wedge yourself in there, provide hip support when you're standing, or support for your bum when you're sitting properly in there. You can see there's a little place for the clip-in boat hook, and then this whole unit lifts up, quite heavy, but that lifts up and gives you access to the fuel tank. So really good to see that everything is accessible too. You've got all the hoses, got the seacocks, so you can turn them off, and of course inspect the fuel tank as well. So it's practical as well as terrific fun. Now the helm station itself, again, proper driver's helm station. You can see here you've got separate levers for the throttle and the gears. This is the little gear stick. You've got forward and reverse there, and the main throttle here with the trim on it. Now that's proper racing style throttle setup. Got a wireless kill cord. This is the Coast Key system, so you wear a little key fob around your neck, and that will send a signal between that and knows that when you're in touch with it that everything is fine. If for any reason you do get thrown off the boat into the water, that cuts the signal and instantly cuts the engine. So it does exactly the same thing as a physical kill cord, but it's all done remotely so that you're free to move around the boat, go and do the fenders, grab the lines, whatever it is, leave the helm station without being physically tethered to it. I've got one on my boat and I think it's absolutely brilliant. So the wheel itself comes right out towards you. You can see that is on an adjustable little tab, so you can change the angle of that if you want it more upright when you're standing, but right in towards you, so it's like a supercar driving position. Got a bow thruster here. These are the controls for the trim tab, so again, very Cormate to have two separate controls. You've got one for up and down for the actual running attitude of the boat, and then side to side on this switch here. Again, very much the kind of racing driver's style. Helm itself set into a mahogany dash, single Simrad MFD, no analog dials at all, so you have all the dials on your MFD. Got a couple of cup holders here, and then these lovely little toggle switches for all the pumps, lights, cabins, wipers, and the anchor up down. Really simple, really focused. And now you can see that wraparound screen in front of you here with that grab rail, but really focused driving position. But there is actually a useful little cabin space in here, so you can see that draws across. Again, beautiful curved mahogany style sliding door, and then drop down into the cabin. I'll go all the way down here so you can get a proper look. But there is a mini kind of sink here, tap, got a lift up lid, more sort of locker there for cleaning gear, a couple of recesses for a couple of drinks or toothbrush, whatever it may be. Over on this side we've got, rather surprisingly, there's one little storage locker there, and under this one we have a little sea toilet, so a proper sea toilet. Even though it's a small and very focused sports boat, you have got a small but very discreet sea toilet. Bit more storage here, and under here this is where the table stores the cockpit table. I won't take it out because it's quite heavy one-handed, but you can see there's a lovely mahogany cockpit table with built-in drinks holders there too. And then if I spin around, you can see there's quite a decent berth up here. So 2-person berth, got nice diamond sort of quilted padding along the inside of the hull sides, but quite a long, good sized berth. Got lights overhead, and then lift up this and you can see really good storage space under there. A couple of struts that hold the weight of that, but plenty of room to put your kit under the bed. So that is the new Cormate T28. But don't take my word for it, you really come and have to see it yourself, or better still, sea trial it. I've got to say, it is tremendous fun. If it's anything like as good as its younger, smaller sister, the older, smaller sister I should say, the T27, then it's going to be a whole heap of fun. But don't take my word for it, come and try it for yourself. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I think you can probably hear the enthusiasm in my voice, what it's like to drive, and I'm very much hoping we'll get to do a full sea trial too. In the meantime, that is a tour of the new Cormate T28. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.